Back to another episode of PTSD featuring Chicago. Today we got Sean, Tony, Pico, and Dre. I always do that.
I always forget about him. He's a little guy.
And your boy Chicago. Today's topic is the dark side of Disney, or the subliminal side of Disney movies and other projects. First one would be, I'm gonna go with Cinderella. I'm gonna go with that one. That's Cinderella, like, cause the fact that her mother had two kids from a different marriage, and then her, and then what happened to the? I mean, everybody know what happened to the father, even though it's different stories. He either went away or she killed him. No one really knows. Oh, sorry, but the fact that she had no reason not to not like her. That the only reason why she didn't like her because she was the prettiest of all the other children that she had.
So break down what's the what was the dark side about? Like the original story that we know from the Cinderella, and then what was the hidden
what the
subliminal
real meaning is.
Yeah, what's the real meaning behind some of the stuff they was actually showing behind the Cinderella story? Because most people, we look at the Cinderella story from what we've seen as a kid, but the actual what's actually behind it, people don't really know about.
I say, well, child abuse, child neglect, teaching your daughter how to think of somebody less than, and they in the same fucking boat.
Yeah, jealousy within the family, right?
Y'all in the same boat, but
yeah.
So, and then they never really said that was the two girls her original daughters, or one of them was like stepdaughters because they came from another marriage. That's all that they said.
Right, yeah.
Okay, right. Because you was going to explain something too, Sean, about the Cinderella story. The glass slipper.
Yeah, I think I heard this from somebody. I think with Cinderella, I could be wrong, just speculating, but if I recall, Cinderella, she had the glass slipper. We was aware she had the glass slipper, and I was aware she could only fit it. That's what we was taught in the cartoons. Cinderella was the only one that could fit the glass slipper. Well, according to somebody who told me this, one of the dark stories is one of the sisters that was jealous. One of the sisters killed Cinderella, so they killed her, but because they wanted the glass slipper, but their feet couldn't fit in it. So what they did was cut their toes off, and they squeezed their foot in the slipper. That's how they fit the glass slipper. That's what I was told. So it's many dark stories.
Well, yeah, because you got different, you got alternate versions of what we grew up on, and then you got the actual symbolism in that show that we grew up on. So I think we're talking about the symbolisms of the subliminals of what we actually watch. See, like you said, because I told you I don't know if I told you about this about the Rugrats. Because when we grew up on, but I think somebody was like, what if they made because somebody did they call it the Rugrats theory, and somebody was analyzing it and talking about the origin of how they all came together, and they was Angelica mom was a crackhead, and that's why the Cynthia doll looked
that basically they said that
they was kind of making theories for each kid.
A figment of her imagination. Angelica figment of imagination.
Exactly.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, the Rugrats breakdown was
that,
deep.
yeah.
Because they said the twins died in the accident.
Yeah,
no.
The
twins, she didn't know which they was gonna be a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
Even though though the parents, I forgot the parents of the twins lost them. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna just make them both. The one about Tommy and Chucky.
I forgot the breakdown, but it was dark.
Like most of the kids were pretty much dead.
It was on something.
It was on something.
I heard
she had no
It's
friends
called
and
the
nobody to
Rugrats
play
theory.
with, so she made them come on. That's why she's the only one in the entire show that can understand what they're saying.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the breakdown of it. But
I never watched the Rugrats because it was a little bit after me. But wow, that's deep.
But once you see the episode and then actually find out that theory of it,
yeah, right. Because somebody
it
said
connects
theory, but it
okay,
makes
I
sense,
can
though.
see it. Yeah, I can definitely see it.
But like we said, those are just theories. But now we got to talk about what we actually watch, like The Lion King, for example. And of course, people was putting it up on YouTube, showing because when people explain their stuff, they'll pull up the video to show you what we was played to, but we didn't catch. So it was I guess he was a white guy. He was all these Disney movies that we all watched and grew up on. Every time he would call one out, for example, he'd be like, look at this clip. So I don't know if y'all remember, it was a part on The Lion King, I think, when Mufasa was walking up the stone mountain, and he was tired and he fell. And when he fell, the dust came up. And when the dust came up, it spelled sex. in the Dutch.
I heard something.
Bro,
I
no,
see
it
that.
ain't even, because
I gotta
remember,
see that,
that's the theory, and then you got, like, the guy that does the breakdown on YouTube, he shows, like, it ain't like, because like I said, the Rugrats, that wasn't no thing. That was just like somebody that was like, oh, what if somebody was just thinking of a theory, but the Disney movies that's already in stone, Aladdin that's already out, the stuff that we watched as kids, the guy that was doing a breakdown, he was like, I'm gonna pull him up. He was pulling up and going to the scenes, and I remember every scene, but I didn't see
what
what
he
it,
was seeing.
until he slowed it. That's the thing, when you slow it down, because you know when you watch it in a regular fast motion.
Right.
So he went back to those scenes that I seen a million times, and he slowed it down, and I, bro, and when he did it spelled sex in the air. So he was like, bro, he said this is subliminally sending it to kids, and then the and this is an actual, this ain't no theory, this is a fact. You know, Disney all is demonic, because you know Walt Disney is a 33rd degree Mason.
Right.
What he did, not what he was.
He did, yeah.
So they actually, you know, like they said, they be having that's when I was working at Menards. I was bringing in the carts from the outside, and a white lady that worked there told me, she said, big figureheads be working down like underground, like, you know, when they coming up with different ideas to increase profits. Right. And and this is going off subject, but it kind of circles back into it. She said, she said, if you notice, she said, when people go in the aisles and stores, the aisle you finna go down, and it'd be like 2 people there. So you'd be like, damn, and you go to the next aisle. She said that's by design. Right. They make the aisle small on purpose to force you to go into the next aisle. So sometimes when you got to go into because sometimes you'll go into the next aisle to come back to that aisle you was finna go down. She said, but while you're walking through that other aisle, you be like, oh, and you ever done that? You finna get something else, you be like, oh. So she said stuff you wouldn't even intend. That's why a lot of people that didn't intend to buy nothing, when they go in one aisle to get to another aisle, Walmart, they end up buying. They be like, man, why do you always think, man, I went to buy this and I came out with all this. So, but she said they designed the aisle small like that on purpose to force you to the. I was like, who thinking stuff like that?
I've even seen about that. Yeah, like I even seen like what they say with the Disney name. It's got 666 on it.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Like the way they have it in cursive.
Yeah, the way the cursive is 3 6s and a W of Walt.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That's what I've heard.
So it's all back.
I would like to just say a little bit something about that part. That's I hate that it's been what's the word around I guess alongside with bad, the numbers, and it's really not bad at all. It means
what, the number 666?
Yeah. It's basically what we made of: 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, and 6 something else to make melanin.
I get, and see, this is the thing. People, they try to, because we got to stay on Disney, because the Bible talks about that's the devil's number. So it's like a lot of times people would take the bad stuff and be like, oh, well, they'll try to make a good version of but it's like, no, it's the Bible speaks of, like, because I think he said the number, because you know the number 8 turned sideways is infinite, the infinite side. So all this stuff, the Bible speaks about all this, like that new. That's why God was saying, like, you know, like the Bible says, like numerology, because people try to make that positive, but remember, God is, when people say science. When people say science, that means F God, because it's science, but people don't understand God is science. Exactly. God is the one that created the heavens and the earth, and he had the stars sit in the air, and it don't fall, and then the sun sit up here and the sun set. That's God doing all that. Right. So remember, no man can do that. So since they're jealous of that, they just go, oh, science. But I'm like, God is science. Right. So you know, so the fact that that's just another way to not give the creator credit. That's all it is.
What was the thing about the Snow White when you were about to explain? Because I've heard something about the Snow White, but I don't know too much.
No, the one I heard was about, they was like, basically she was a whore because she was dwelling with 7 men. But you know, it was 7 doors, but it was nonetheless, it was all men and 1 girl. So I heard it was on some, you know what I'm saying? So the deep meaning.
It's just the story. The story behind it is kind of like almost every Disney story, really, about a princess.
Yeah.
A little girl is being hated on by an old ass woman.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Snow White, Tangled, or what's her name? Rapunzel. Like, these girls are 16, 17. These are not grown women. These are not of age. And here this old lady, a magic mirror. Who the beautiful mother is now? It's not you. You 50.
Yeah. And to add to his point, but now going back to the perversion, because people don't even understand the real story of Pocahontas. Now, this ain't my theory. This is actually true. Okay. You know, the John Smith character in the cartoon is the white man in Pocahontas. Right. Now, of course, the way Pocahontas is drawn, the character, when you pull it up on Disney, even though you know she's young, you assume she's grown. Do you know the real Pocahontas was 12?
Yeah.
What?
And the white dude was like he was 35. He was like 35. He was like my age. So
and the dude that she was supposed to get married to, even though in the movie he did die.
Right.
John was supposed to be the person to kill him, not the other people.
Exactly,
John, the actual person to come kill him and take her from him.
Exactly.
What's his name? Coco Wam or something like that?
Yeah,
Something like that. Wait, on a movie, but it was something different.
Right. But in the
world
world we live in today, in the Disney movie, the Pocahontas, if the white guy's John Smith and Pocahontas, but like the way they draw Pocahontas,
like she's a grown woman.
She kind of look, she's like a young
teen,
or adolescent. Like you could tell she looks grown. But they was like the real story. They said the girl, it's a 12-year-old girl and a 35, 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
So the perversion of where that comes from, and then of course Disney, even though it's still perverted, when you put it in animation form, it looks pleasing. But the actual story where it comes from, so all the Disney stories is actually perversion of because that's the word prepubescent, prepubescent girls or boys, because Peter Pan was the young boy, but a lot of these, like you said, Cinderella, Little Mermaid, Pocahontas, they say these girls is like 11, 10, 12, and the grown man that they deal with in the movies be like 40. So it's pedophilia. That's the word. It's basically Disney is rooted.
Pedophilia.
Yeah, Disney is rooted heavily in pedophilia, but by us being kids and we was look the pretty colors and all of that, it go past us, but it hit you subconsciously.
Yeah, you got to break down the Peter Pan one because the camera wasn't on for that one.
Okay, so the Peter Pan one, and it was another guy named Young Pharaoh. Shout out to him. He they took his YouTube down. He did a whole Disney breakdown about that, and he was another one. He would show a clip. And he would explain what happened. And I never peeped this until he said it. They kept showing the clip. I don't know if y'all remember in the cartoon Peter Pan. Right. Remember when he went in Wendy room? Oh yeah. And, remember when he was dancing and you saw his shadow on the wall. Right. Yeah. That scene, he did like a little pose. Right. And his because he got the little green leg.
Right. I seen the picture. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
And but the way they showed it is like his penis was hanging.
Yeah, it was like.
But they did it in the form where you didn't, and it's funny because I've seen that scene and it never clicked on me. Yeah, so like he'll do like a dance, and when he posed, it made it look like his penis was hanging and swinging. So he was like, bro, he said, this is perversion all through it was all through the movies. He kept pulling up clips. And he was like, we seen these movies 50,000 times and it just didn't click. Cross our mind. So it's perverted. And then, especially with the Mickey Mouse one, the Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse.
Oh, yeah.
It's one where Mickey is hugging Minnie Mouse. And Minnie Mouse has a blue blouse. Like a blue.
Blouse. It looked like a.
And it was a penis. Bro, and they zoomed in on it. It was shaped like a penis. Bro, and it was, it's like.
That's Minnie Mouse. If you pay close enough attention, is dick and balls.
Exactly.
It's just this point of
it.
Exactly.
They even got the little crease part.
Right? Yeah, the crease, bro. And they call it the phallus or whatever. Yeah. Bro. And it's like, and I looked at it 50 million times, but when they slow it down and zoom in, they was like, bro, we grew up on this. Yeah. And so going back to my point about the Walt Disney thing, they was like when Walt Disney made Disney World and all that, and because remember the whole object was to get kids to go there.
Right.
And they was like the reason they would play a lot of Disney World commercials because they said psychology is more. They said the subliminal. Yeah. They play Disney World commercials to get parents to have sex, to have more kids to bring them to Disney World. That was a way to increase business for Disney World, was to get parents, because we have sex, you produce kids. Right. So
now that we talk about this,
it's deep, bro.
It arises a question about what happened with the Peter Pan thing, about how he lost his shadow.
Bro, it's
what type of person or what could you have done that bad for your shadow for it to be nailed?
Yeah, you ain't lying, bro. Yeah,
back to the bottom of your feet.
Yeah, that's See, this stuff we don't think about.
Yeah, you're not lying, because that was a theme in the movie.
And so what he was
in the shadow.
He kept trying to
the shadow was not rocking with him at all. Like what?
Now, even with the Beauty and the Beast story,
bro. Oh my God, that got so many subliminals.
Women, men and beasts. And that's in the Bible. You're not supposed to
bestiality. It's called bestiality.
You're not supposed to
forget
have
the Bible before we get to that part. What? Guest off. Him. The man.
Yeah, bro.
He is the number one villain in Disney.
Yeah,
one of them.
Yeah, he is.
He's top 5.
Yeah, he is.
And only because that's something that women today go through every day.
Yeah.
The fact that he got the entire town to help him get her married after she said no.
Yeah.
Talking about boys will be boys.
That got so many subliminals in it. But especially the bestiality thing.
The bestiality thing.
Yeah, man falling in love with beasts or women falling in love. Because that was the main premise of it. Like she fell in love with an animal. You know what I'm saying? And it was like he knew when to be animalistic, and then he had a soft side, but it's still nonetheless is an animal. You know what I'm saying? And it's promoting bestiality. Yeah. So it just is, and this is
bestiality.
You don't think about stuff
rape,
like that. Yes, all that, bro.
A lot of stuff like this man really forced himself on her, and everybody was like, okay, boys gonna be boys. No, y'all need to lock this deranged man up.
Yeah, because she didn't want him, and he wanted her. But yeah,
He got the time to greet them, marry them together, and to come up to the beast's crib to kill the beast to take her.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
And we watch it as like, oh, this is the most beautiful
normal.
story. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because all these these theories and stuff. Well, not these theories, it's facts y'all saying. I've even heard one about Little Red Riding Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All
I
those
think I know
guys
you
about-
want. Go ahead. Let me see if I heard what
Go
you
ahead.
heard. But go ahead.
So you know
I
the
think I know
original
what you're gonna
story.
say.
Yeah, I know the
is,
original.
The Little Red Riding. She was going to her grandma's house,
Right.
and there was a big bad wolf trying to eat her. And then, you know, and at the end, the big bad wolf they killed the big bad wolf and everything. It went away. They didn't kill it, but it went away, and the grandma was saved and everything. But in the Twisted story, I don't know if you heard this, Tony.
Okay.
But the big bad wolf, it was watching Little Red Riding Hood, but it went to her grandma's house and it ate her grandma.
Right. Yeah.
And dressed up.
Yeah, dressed
as
up.
her
Yeah,
grandma.
no, that's
And
actually the
red-
original
that's
story.
the original
That's
movie,
the
yeah.
original story.
That's the original story.
They're-
Because he dressed up as grandma to fit to
Yeah,
what
but-
big teeth you have. Like, it was a fool.
Yeah,
Right. What big teeth you
but
have?
No,
the
that
dark
wasn't the
part-
Twisted Story. That's the original
The
story.
dark part, the wolf ate her grandmother.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And she cut open the belly.
Oh, you mean as far as like
Oh
that?
yeah,
one?
yeah,
dark
yeah.
part.
Because I'm like
Dark
the whole original point was to
Okay.
dress up as her.
Right.
Okay,
To
okay.
get to eat.
And I
Red
forgot
Riding
about
Hood.
that, but I heard
Yeah.
that she cut open her belly to save her grandmother and killed the wolf.
But you know, I want to, not remembering where I got it from, but but I believe, I remember hearing this from somewhere that the wolf was actually grandma. Like, actually the
I think somebody
person
else
that
said
was
I
like,
heard that too.
that's why, come on now, how could a wolf so easily get in there and kill the grandma and then, you know, dress himself to kill the girl? So I'm like, when they told me that, I'm like, that make kind of sense because look, anytime Little Red Riding Hood was in the woods, nothing happened to her.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And you in the woods by yourself, you would help.
Yeah,
you ain't lying. Somebody
you think
eat
he gonna go
something,
to you, then the grandma
right?
or something like
that's
that, but no.
Damn, that's a good point.
And then when you think about it,
Point.
when she came to visit, she kept asking all these questions. A normal beast's gonna attack regardless.
Yeah,
Big
you ain't on
eyes you
sight.
have, or what
Oh,
big
yeah,
teeth
that's
you
true.
have.
Yeah.
That's true.
So and then now that's in Disney, but we can still add this along the realm of cartoons. A lot of people don't know the Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Oh, yeah.
The Three Bears represent the three black men.
Three black,
people.
yeah.
So it basically the real where it came from. The story came from a white girl broke into a black family's home, and then they dealt with her. So and remember their job was to always make us look like savages.
Right.
So when the Three Bears like ate her or whatever type, it's like, oh, it's these black niggers or whatever. So a lot of people don't know Goldilocks and the Three Bears is a white girl breaking into a black person's home, and even though she's wrong because she's breaking and entering, she's the victim.
Right.
So once I found that, I'm like, damn, that's what the meaning is. I'm like,
That's
dog,
dark as
this,
hell.
and we sung these songs of what, and then we thinking it's all innocent, and all this got dark, demonic meanings to it, or evil, wicked meanings to it. We be like, that's what that really meant. So yeah, Goldilocks and the Three Bears is nothing innocent. She was the breaking and enterer. She was the one in the wrong breaking and entering people's house, but they made her the victim and tried to make it look like the Bears was wrong for reprimanding her because they just be like, yo, you went our home. Right. So the Bears, they gonna go at her, but they was like, oh, these are black, big black men, they're scary, and oh, she's the victim. And even though she broke in their house and eating their food and all that, so she was the bogus one, but she was made the victim. So Goldilocks and the Three, that ain't nothing innocent. None of these stuff that you get older and look at it. All the stuff that we thought was innocent ain't none of this stuff. It's all wicked and evil, and it got jacked up, twisted meanings behind it of why they even made the story.
Yeah, you're right, man. That's
Sound like Hercules.
Bro, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
mess your
When
head up.
I was sending out the theory about say Pinocchio.
That too.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
too.
Pinocchio.
I heard, man,
Pinocchio
what?
too.
What the
What's his
nose and
name?
what that represent, man.
I just finna say his name. Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
What I was just telling y'all about what the real what really
Oh yeah,
happened.
you messed me up with that one. I didn't know it.
You know, Peter Pan,
They made the
the
good guy,
boy,
the bad guy, the good guy.
Captain Hook's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right. in the
But in
movies.
reality, the truth is, Captain Hook's the good guy
That's crazy.
because Peter Pan's a pedophile.
Right, exactly. Yup, they're trying to bring the
He was
Or
stopping-
reason why the mermaid was fucking with him.
Thank
Exactly,
you.
bro.
Thank you.
That is so true.
Hook was Hook.
Ain't this crazy?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Hook was one of the boys that got away.
So he wanted his revenge. Was
So to say this can never happen again, that's why he always had his course to kill Peter Pan.
bro.
That would make
Nobody
that would,
else.
And you ever seen the movie Hook?
Yeah.
That makes sense now.
Because
that
Robin
makes so
Williams
much sense
was
now.
Hook.
Yeah.
Robin Williams was
Yeah.
Hook,
and it just messes you up even more. I swear, like every time you say something, you think of something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
remember they called their tribe the Lost Boys.
The Lost
The Lost
Boys.
Boys.
And I'm like, damn, but you would think about Hook being the bad guy. The Lost Boys would be with Hook. The Lost Boys was with Peter Pan.
Now notice.
Because he was the one keeping them in captivity, but he made it look like they was free.
Right.
Now notice.
Bro, that just messed me up.
Out of all the theories and all movies in Peter Pan, Peter Pan, his crew, the Lost Boys, Hook never tried to kill nobody but Peter Pan.
That's so true. Because he's
now,
the leader.
He caught a couple of them, held them for hostage. Peter Pan go free him.
Yeah, but that's what?
When he
that was
the
bait.
tree,
But
thinking that Peter Pan was still in there.
Exactly.
Bro,
he only wanted to kill Peter Pan.
It is, dog.
He only wanted to kill Peter Pan.
You're right. And like you said, even when he
captured
captured them boys, that was the bait Peter Pan.
That was it.
Because
Bait him
that
in.
was his homie.
He didn't want to kill those guys.
Yeah,
he didn't want to kill Peter Pan, the Lost Boys. He wanted to kill Pan because he didn't want the same thing to happen to him, to them.
Because even
what happened to him.
The Hook movie,
it's right there in the movie.
Them all out the
I gotta watch
tree,
it again.
He could have murked them then.
Thank you. Exactly.
Wow.
It's right there
Bro,
in the
this
movie.
stuff.
But by us being young, since we think, oh my God, Peter Pan finna save the day.
And
all
all
this
time,
stuff is demonic.
He the pedophile.
Pan's
and we
the
root for
pedophile,
Peter
yeah.
Pan and he the damn pedophile.
Yep.
But but I learned that like in shows, the good guy you rooting for is actually the evil one.
Come on, man.
But the conditioning is to be like, oh, like him. Because now, when you subconsciously doing it, now you don't agree with it consciously, but they know subconsciously you agree with the pedophile.
Exactly.
But of course, in your mind, you thinking like, no, he's a good
he's a
guy.
hero.
No,
Look at what they
whole
did
time they be the
with
wicked one.
they just modernized a little bit. Look at Avengers.
Oh, yeah, I
Same
know
thing they
what
did
you're
with
gonna
Thanos.
say, yeah.
Thanos the good guy.
Oh, bro, yeah.
Thanos was the good guy.
Yeah, but they make him.
The Avengers didn't want to have a peaceful world.
That is so true. But
There you go.
No.
Because
Thanos was
when
a
he
good guy.
did his mission,
That is so true.
He was
peaceful.
done.
It was low
If
key.
the world was peaceful, people
died.
kept disappearing, of course. But
Yeah.
he went and lived on a farm
But
somewhere
then
with one
going
of them
back,
what's name hats.
The Black Panther Killmonger was the real
I was
nigga.
just gonna
There
say
you go.
that.
And they made him the
They
villain.
made him the bad guy.
Bro. And
Killmonger
that's in
saw
every-
what the world is. T'Challa was like, no, it can't be like Killmonger. Like, dude, look,
This
man,
is reality.
this is real.
I feel like Black Panther is how black families grew up, and Killmonger is the one that want to, get rid of those generational curses.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. Yeah.
Bro, we've been
But
lying
Disney
to
Disney been doing this ever since I was a kid. But we wasn't into knowledge like we are now.
Jeez,
we just look like, oh man, that was a good cartoon. But all these cartoons got subliminal messages in them, man.
For me, like I was like, I'm gonna say like late 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and having conversations with Makita, just normal conversation. Like, yeah, she didn't like her because she was pretty. What? I'm thinking this, and that.
Yeah,
It's because she was prettier.
And that lets you know that's the jealousy of that's the world. That's the real world.
the world we live
It
in.
don't even have to be a reason. It could just be some petty.
But I didn't even think. I feel like it's because of Disney. Like, I want to say.
I know
a mass majority have grew up on Disney movies.
Exactly. It's conditioning.
The reason why we believe this is how it is today because of
this, bro. Yeah.
and not seeing it, so we going out like, oh yeah, I want to be Hercules.
You know what's gonna mess your
not
head up
knowing
even
he
more?
is
You know what's gonna mess your head up even more?
pedophile. Not so much a pedophile, but a nigga that like to force himself on people.
To add to what you're saying, you know what's gonna mess it up even more? Isn't Disney portrayed to us as a fairy tale, but
It
the whole
is.
time it's reality?
And you know what? The funny
That
thing
just
about
hit me
it,
right now.
Tone, the
It's
funny thing
presented
about
in a
it-
fairy tale
Yes.
world, but the problems is real.
Yeah.
It's
But
But
real.
get this. The reason for fairy tales, fairy tales actually dealt with the real world.
Right.
Things that's in fairy tale, that's the real world.
Yeah.
There's evil in the world.
Exactly.
But somebody always good got to come and conquer evil. But the only person that can conquer evil is God.
Yeah, exactly.
But they read all these people in like Peter Pan and
they give everybody credit for
Hercules and stuff like that. No, it don't work like that. The only one, well, I ain't gonna say the only, one of the best Disney movies that pretty much dealt with the real world was Maleficent.
Bro, that movie was so
And
Maleficent was
Goofy
good.
movie.
Goofy, I'm talking about like a real movie.
Oh, okay, I
The
get
movie
it.
people set up a
Okay.
cartoon.
Goofy movie, yeah, he did it too.
Yeah,
but
he did,
Maleficent,
yeah, you're right.
she was a witch. Just
Yeah.
hands down, she didn't come in trying to say it. She was a
Yeah,
witch.
yeah, she let you know. I'm like
She-
this in the dope.
Exactly.
I'm in the dope.
Exactly.
Fun fact about that movie: the children that was in the movie with her, those was her actual children because when she was in full makeup, and no children wanted to come around her. They were scared of her and everything, so they actually had to use her because they were the only children that was like, "That's mommy,
right.
she alright."
Yeah. Oh, I didn't
But
know
she was
that.
nice because when you think about it, you don't think about the little bit of the
Yeah,
details
the
and certain
nuances
movies
like that.
But that was nice.
Now, was
was
there
really
one
nice.
for Alice in Wonderland? Because I can't remember.
Maleficent?
Oh, look,
I thought it was. I thought it was a story behind
What?
it.
It was Alice.
Well,
Yeah, Alice in
I see
Wonderland.
what you got.
Oh wait, no, that's a story.
You got the
That's a
viewers.
real
Now, you
life
got the story, but you
Yeah.
got the viewers too. Like meaning,
Uh-huh.
they was like people. They said Alice in Wonderland is not intended for the sober. They said it's meant for it's meant for people that smoke. Because you know when you high, your mind is altered. So they was like, you're supposed to watch that movie when you high. So that within itself is already.
A lot of people don't think about it. She did drugs, and that's why I moved because when you read the book, the actual read the book, it'll tell you everything.
Right.
But when you see the movie and stuff, if you don't think drugs, then I don't know what you watch.
Yeah, because all the colors and all that, that's emphasized and
who made that song? They made a song about Alice in Wonderland. It's an old.
I think I know what
song.
Yeah.
One pill makes you larger. Other pill makes you small. Yeah, the song is
yeah. So and this
remember
stuff
Alice when she's 10 feet tall? You want to that stuff like that when you high.
Yeah, exactly.
The cat that
I forgot that
Pierre
song.
reappeared.
With the big smile. First of all, his smile is scary.
It's the rat. First of all,
exactly.
I mean, not the rat, the rabbit.
Rabbit.
Oh, yeah, dog.
That's cocaine.
Yeah.
Speed.
Yeah, white. Yeah, it's white. You know the white. You know what I'm saying? Rabbit. But it's just
Cheshire Cat. First of all, the Cheshire Cat was creepy as hell.
bro. Yeah, the smile when he smiles, he disappears. And then from
Favorite character.
Disappear, you still see his smile. I'm like, this cat is weird.
That's demonic. That's all this stuff. So yeah, you
And
got.
that's actually supposed to be like your conscience. Because when you actually listen to the cat, yeah, he sound like devious, but he actually telling you like you need to watch where you going.
True.
But even with that, they don't have to make him look demonic. He don't
did
because he looks scary.
Right,
I'm
but
like,
when you high, a lot of people they want to say like it's bad for you. So when they say this is your conscience,
I get what
of course they're gonna be like they're gonna make your conscience bad because if you wasn't high, it wouldn't be like so
because you'll be sober.
Right.
Right. That's a good point. But
I mean, everything from cartoons to real movies.
Even movies.
They got subliminal messages in these
they
movies,
do.
man.
But that, like I said, that just messed my head up.
It'll mess you up.
That Disney is shown to you as fairy tale, but everything in that is actually reality. But they promote it as fairy tale.
But now look at what they're doing. Another Wizard of Oz movie finna come out.
Okay.
It's called Gale. It's about, and you know who
about
Gale?
the witch.
You know who Gale is? Nobody know who Gale is?
No.
Wait, because I seen.
I'm gonna give it a minute.
It's what movie?
Wizard of Oz
Oh,
movie's
Wizard of
coming
Oz.
out. It's called
Gale,
Gale. It's not
Gale.
called The Wizard of Oz.
Right.
But it's Gale.
Is it a what of
Is it the dude that was supposed to be in the Oz?
Nope.
Because I remember they came out with a movie like that too.
No, they're not talking about Oz the movie. No, nothing like that.
I
This
didn't
is
see that. I ain't really
this
seen
is
it.
a real horror movie.
I don't know about
Gale is Dorothy. Dorothy last name is Dorothy Gale.
Wow.
Dorothy's older now. She's in like this. What's this thing these old people get into when they just
Dementia?
stop? Dementia. Yeah,
Okay.
she's just stopping looking. Her granddaughter, go talk to her. You okay, Miss Gale? You okay, Dorothy Gale? And all the time she's talking to her granddaughter, Dorothy's looking at a picture of Toto. I guess Toto died.
Okay.
But Dorothy's like probably in her 80s now.
Okay.
And her granddaughter goes to touch her, and everything was in Oz, shot right back on, and she turned to a witch.
Wow.
Stay away from. She kept saying, "Stay away from Oz. Stay away from Oz. Stay away from." She kept saying it. You can pull it up on YouTube.
Yeah, I gotta
And
see
she
that.
turns to this
for real.
witch, and then it's called Gale, and it was like just coming soon. And I think it says "Stay out of Oz." They bringing the truth out to these things now because Wizard of Oz was always demonic.
Yeah, all of it.
Always.
Is.
It was
the part-
beautiful going
From
up.
the part
Grew
when she
up.
came in and crushed the witch to the
Yes.
part they left. It was creepy as fuck.
Remember the part when we first seen the Wizard of Oz? It was in black and white.
Yeah.
We
Bro,
didn't pay
he's
no
not
attention
lying.
to that stuff. Yeah, that's it right there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, all this stuff is coming true
I
now.
see that. I gotta see
Well,
that.
they just telling the truth.
Well, yeah, they
Because
not
it's always
coming.
been there.
Yeah, they
We
telling the
just never knew.
truth.
It was
Yeah.
subliminal then, but now they just being blatant with it.
When I first saw the Wizard of Oz, I swear I had to be like probably 14. From what I first seen it, I knew it was demonic. I'm like, first of all, let's just be honest. There's such thing of a good witch.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
I hate it when they
Good
say
witches.
that.
There is no good thing of a good witch, just like
They try
there's
to
no
make it up
such
like
thing of a good mermaid. Mermaids are evil.
They are.
Mermaids,
the inception of it, the origins,
yes.
the origins of it is
Yes,
not good.
mermaids are evil.
They sirens.
Yeah,
Sirens. Well,
exactly.
actually,
That's exactly-
mermaids
yeah.
and sirens are different. They're not
Oh,
the
okay.
same.
But I mean,
It's
but they're
actually
both
two
evil.
Yeah, they're both
Okay.
evil, and they both seduce men.
So
Right, right.
exactly.
Same thing. But and people
So you don't
crying
believe
over
it? And I ain't- oh my goodness.
people crying over the Little Mermaid. Oh, she's black. It don't matter if you're black or white. Evil is evil.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're
But
not
it's
supposed to
even
praise
that. It's-
evil.
She is under the water.
Well,
she ain't white. But nigga, chill.
That's crazy.
but Disney always did this.
Yeah.
Disney always. This isn't nothing new.
Maybe knowing that.
Paramount, New Line Cinema, DC, they all affiliated with satanic stuff. No matter how we might like the characters, look at Superman's story.
All
yeah,
this
that's
stuff is
Superman
evil.
supposed to be the reflection of
God.
what? Was it
God.
Moses or
Yeah,
Jesus?
something like that.
Jesus.
Jesus'
That's crazy.
story. It's the same thing.
That
They
is
took it
crazy.
and flipped it
And Made it. Yeah.
There you go.
Where you can think they get these characters from?
Bro, they
Yeah,
get
these
all
characters they're like angel.
They get everything
Dark
from
strength,
God.
Thanos
man.
and purple skin and
Yeah, humans can't be
But
that
you gotta
strong.
think about what we don't know, like what
Oh,
has
man.
happened from before we was born and stuff like that.
Yes.
Because you can say that they got it from their imagination, but I feel like it's not. They're not showing us everything that we need to see, or they're not showing us everything that's out there.
No, I'm saying we didn't say that. We said they
no,
got it from the Bible.
they got
No,
it.
no, I'm saying I don't.
somewhere.
I'm not saying you can say that, but I feel like
You saying it's coming
it's something.
from something.
Yeah,
Coming
it's come
from
from
somewhere,
something
yeah.
physical. Like it's something out here or something they don't want us to show
They
them.
don't want
Like,
Oh well, yeah,
I believe that,
because
yeah.
these characters, I understand we can have a wide imagination, but we have to have a root from somewhere. Like
Yeah, in order for it to sprout out like that.
exactly.
I think we know about this, like DT now. I mean, people don't even understand a lot of the Marvel characters is what we talked about is with DC, they're fallen angels.
Fallen angel.
Because
yeah.
fallen angels from the Bible, when they fell for like when God kicked like 2/3 of the angels out of heaven.
1/4, I think.
1/4, yeah, 1/4. Those angels, like what's the angels? Michael and Gabriel, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So the Supermans and all that, they're nothing but like mini. That's why they call them demigods.
Demigods.
So it's like I get what you mean because remember that all being demonic. The idea is from the Bible.
Yeah.
But like when the physical source, because of course when you're demonic, you enter like rituals and stuff.
Right.
So yeah, they be practicing little rituals, but I mean, no, it's the source of all that comes from the Bible. Because it's nothing but angels, but they were like, okay, well, that's already associated with God. Let's just say Superman. And instead of saying the fifth angel, we're gonna say the Hulk. Like it's that they literally get the idea from God and his angels, but they just make a human version of it on earth with God-like powers. So I guess they could try to make us, even though we can never touch God and be God, they try to bring us close by giving us superheroes. But the idea, the inception of all of that is from angels and God. It's all everything. And then they just make it now twisted because by God being holy, it's holy with him.
Right.
They'll take the powers of it and make it demonic.
Demonic.
Because when God do it, it's actually righteous. But
if they fallen, then they no longer a God.
Exactly.
But you see, that's why kids
fallen
worship,
angels are evil.
That's why kids worship superheroes more than they worship God.
Exactly.
Because
So
that-
you hit it right. That's what I meant to say. Because I was saying when they was good, I meant before they got kicked out. But once they got kicked out, it's like God, like, okay, now y'all, you evil now, because you was up here with me.
Yep.
Now you evil, so you out there with the world. And even though I still run everything, y'all not up here no more. So he's right. So now they're demigods. You know what I'm saying? That's where the term demigods come from. So those fallen angels, bro, that's why we like the Troys and the Game of Thrones when you see them Nephilim. People don't know that's where Nephilims came from.
Yeah.
A Nephilims is like
It's
5
good
people
land.
standing on like Nephilims
like
was like
12
20
feet
feet
tall,
tall,
20
like
feet
that
tall,
lived
yeah.
back in the days, like the
Oh,
Game of
yeah,
Thrones.
yeah.
Yeah,
David and
because
Goliath.
they were called bro. Those were literally giants that now we would never see that nowadays, but back then before we was even thought of, like the
You gotta
dinosaur
think
ages and
about
all of
it.
that, giants and stuff.
Dinosaurs being as big as they are, you don't think one of us was close, at least closest as possible to that?
What?
Yeah, on a
they-
human
You think
form.
we just like
They just gave us a theory as dinosaurs and
because even
cavemen.
like elephants, you still got people out here 7 feet tall that can at least stand on their tippy toes and touch the top of an elephant.
Yeah. And I remember that, and DT said something real. He was like a lot of these NBA players we see, because you got some that's 6, because Michael Jordan was 6'6".
Yes.
He was like, even though that's tall, he was like,
when basketball first came
he
out,
was like,
7 feet
he
tall.
always said that he would say they was basically 7 feet plus.
Yeah.
And DT told me, he messed my head up, and he brought up Shaq for an example. He said, when you see
I know
people
where
like
you're
Shaq or Yao Ming, he was like, those are examples of like the descendants of Nephilims.
Bloodline,
Bro,
yeah.
messed my head up, because Nephilims was them big giant, like the David and Goliath that was 20 feet tall.
Back in
so
Noah days.
right, exactly. So Shaq them, they're not 20 feet, but for them to be that big
as they
on
are.
this current term, DT was like, when you see people that's freakishly tall like that, because remember, it's not a
know
lot.
that.
It's a few. He said those are like descendants of
you
them
know, it's a
giants.
small tribe in Africa with tall people like that. That's descendants of them.
Well, yeah. I know
What's
what
it
you're
called?
talking about.
You
I
talking
forgot
about
their names.
Sentinel
I know
Island,
what
are you? Sentinel Island?
I don't remember.
Okay,
that,
okay,
but
okay, 'cause
It's
that's a
somewhere in
small-
Africa, and they all of them tall as hell.
Yeah. So he was like a lot. Yeah, the bloodline. He said a lot of them are descendants of those giants. So it's not as many today, but he was like, you could still, if you go to different parts of the world, like you said, you'd be like, oh, you'll go somewhere in Germany and you'll see a dude that's like 7'5". But of course, it ain't 50 of him. It's just one of him in that town. Because he was like, those are like the remains of what was common way back then before we was even thought of. So it's just like, man, when you see niggas 7'3", 7'4", that's not normal, bro.
That's funny because a lot of people don't know, with this camera. A lot of people don't know the theory on Noah. They think Noah was just it took place in the biblical days. Everybody know that.
Right,
but God flooded the earth,
Right.
and nobody wanted to listen. No, there was giants in the days of Noah.
Yeah.
No, but people just look at it like, oh, well, nobody wanted to listen to Noah. No, giants walked the earth.
Yeah,
These guys
yeah.
was like 30 feet
30
tall.
feet tall, yeah, 25
Giants.
feet,
Giants
yeah.
walked the
That
earth.
is scary.
It sounds funny because we grew up watching it as TV.
Because that's what you know I'm finna bring up what DT brought up.
Jack the
That's,
Giants left.
Oh, yeah,
that's where they got that from.
Yeah, Jack and the Giants
Because
left.
the people that did
Oh
it-
yeah, Devin Goliath. Oh hell yeah.
No, you know that movie that came out like, well,
No, Jack and the Beanstalk.
Jack-
You know what I'm
Jack-
saying? But they got it from Devin Goliath.
Yeah, the
bro.
Bro,
same
yeah,
thing.
but
Yeah.
because remember that scene when he was hiding under the water?
Yeah.
And he was holding his breath.
The
and them
giant,
giants-
yeah.
Bro, he was like, bro, those like, of course, way back then,
Yeah.
way we wouldn't
Yeah,
even
they were giants.
But those giants, that was the norm. Like how we walk around regular average height, that was the norm back then.
And you know the funny part about
They'll
that
be bigger
movie?
than trees just walking.
You know the funny part about that movie? The nursery rhyme, we all, when we were kids,
Okay.
Fee, Fi,
Oh,
Fo, Fum.
yeah, you
Those
told me
actually
that.
4 brothers.
Yeah, I didn't know that too.
We
Yeah,
just thought it was Fee, Fi,
Oh, yeah, I
Fo,
did hear
Fum, or
something.
4 giant brothers. They're
Yeah.
brothers.
But we thinking it's just a song.
Yeah,
but
I
it's-
smell the blood of an Englishman.
Yeah, but you're saying 4
Yeah,
names.
there are 4 names.
Fee, Fi, Fum, Fum. Yeah.
It's not just,
Look, that's
it's
my
not
head,
just a
that's-
song.
Yeah.
They do it.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
definitely-
what?
So
Yeah,
basically,
Fee, Fi, Fo, Fum is
when we
brothers.
hearing one person, we actually hearing
You're
all
hearing
4
all
of them
4
say
of
it.
them, yes.
Yeah, Fee,
Fee, Fi, Fo,
Now,
Fum.
we're
He
saying
coded
it,
his
but
homies.
it's funny if you say it in that voice. Think about it. We always say it in that voice.
Right.
Fee, Fi.
Fi,
He actually
Fo,
like, yo,
Wow.
Sean, Dre, Pico,
Yeah,
Tony.
that's
Where
what
all
I'm
So
they?
saying.
why we only see one of them though,
That was 4 men in the movie.
and we only just saw one?
They showed all 4.
No, they showed off four. Right, because when he like fighting him in like
He was-
running through the
No,
kitchen
no.
or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
no,
they showed off four.
he was
You
killing
probably
one
ain't seen
by
it in a
one.
while.
Creepy as hell,
It
and I
is,
love
bro.
it though.
It's
That's
bro.
dope.
I mean,
And
Nephilims were real.
Bro, that
These
stuff
are
is
babies
real.
of angels having sex with women.
That's the one too. Yeah,
and
yeah.
those women had babies that was like Captain America and
Look.
Thor. If they were
Look,
Not that you
strong.
say that.
That's
Let's
why
get
the
back
Troy
to the
stuff is
movie
real,
thing
yeah.
because I want to talk about Greek mythology because a lot
Oh
of
my
movies,
God, that.
a lot of Disney movies coming from Greek
Yeah,
mythology.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hercules,
that's true.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Thor.
But when you think about Greek mythology and the fallen angel,
Thor's
you could piece together
Yeah.
well a lot of the stuff that we grew up with or we see in
Yeah.
movies, television, books, and stuff today, like
Yeah.
homosexuality,
That's not gonna orgy.
bestiality, stuff like that. Because even though you say it's from the Bible, the negative stuff, a lot of the negative stuff came from Greek mythology.
Right.
Which
Definitely.
is
But
crazy.
remember, see, that's if you know the Bible, the Greek is in the Bible, not the word. Like remember the Greek, the Roman Empire, all that is in the Bible, and the homosexual, everything you said, the Bible,
in there.
because it's book. You know how you got the book of Isaiah.
Yeah.
It's book. What is the
Romans.
Yeah, Book of Romans, and it was like another one dealing with, and it
Corinthians?
is talking about talking about nothing but the Greeks and Romans.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
know
still
it.
from the Bible. It talk about the homosexuality, the bestiality that they do. The Bible literally covers everything of every race. I mean, of all the different
Yeah,
nations
it's all in
and
there.
what they do. All that is in there.
It's so crazy. I love it because I love Greek mythology, but at the same time, when you think about like how perverted it is,
It's twisted.
Yeah, it is twisted.
The
But then,
main
you
two
can,
things.
but then you really can't fault it because that's how it was back in that day. And back in that day it was the normal.
You can never fight what somebody is.
Right,
I
exactly,
would
right.
never
That-
fight it. That's
exactly.
just
That's the
what
blood,
they
like you said, the
did.
blood.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
All
what
right,
they
you
did.
can have a negative thought, but you really can't have
Right,
a negative thought
exactly.
because
Exactly. That's
if
what
we
I'm
was
saying.
living in that day, we'd be talking about like, oh yeah, when I leave this 12-year-old, I'm about to go.
Yeah, that's
Shit
what
like
they
that.
did in the days, man. You know, in some series you can watch, like Spartacus and Rome, the women would just hang outside with no
Game of
clothes on.
Thrones.
Just sit on the corners, they have sex
naked.
right there in public.
Year one was
They
the
did.
best
Yes,
example
that
of
was
how
a
it
funny
used to be
story.
back then.
Yeah,
Year one, that's caveman.
Yeah, caveman.
But that,
exactly.
but when you when
But I
they,
get
when
what
they
you
went
mean.
to
Oh,
that
well,
orgy
it did
party,
go up to
yeah,
the
I'm gonna
Roman
say that
Empire.
orgy
Yeah.
party.
Yeah,
That
the
was
orgy
Greek.
party,
That's Greek
right.
mythology.
Yeah.
That's where you pretty much get all your holidays. And I just did
Oh, yeah,
what's
of
the name
course.
on that. Valentine's
Oh
Day.
yes.
Easter.
No. Valentine's Day was.
No, I'm gonna say Easter. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Ester.
okay.
Because Valentine's Day was a massacre.
Yeah, Valentine's was a
I
massacre.
love that
Easter was
story. I
Esther,
love
actually
that
Esther.
Esther, right? Yeah.
And
You
they
did
would
say
go, the eggs was true,
Mm-hmm.
had eggs, and whoever found the eggs, that was your ticket into the orgy. And they would do it like right there in front of everybody.
And they made a cussing word for it.
Yeah.
Fuck. When I
Yeah,
found
you're
out
right.
what fuck mean,
Exactly.
I was like, yeah.
that. Yeah.
So all this
fuck,
stuff,
fuck.
it's not just Disney, it's not just
Yeah, all-
movies,
everything
it's
got it.
people
Everything got it.
lifestyle, man. That's how people. That's where
But
you get
it's-
orgies from today.
But it's like, why choose that to glorify? Disney, Walt, you could have chosen
That's what they are.
anything.
Pick me, I got the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Evil.
Yeah. Exactly. That's just what they are.
Remember, the Lord said they're gonna worship evil for worship God. So that's why evil. That's why everything evil is praised, man.
Yeah. And I was gonna say,
Look at homosexuality. They will kill you if you say something wrong about them
Yeah,
people.
you ain't lying.
Yeah.
Look, but go back what he said. He was like, you can't really blame him. I'ma still say, I'ma still blame him because there's a lot of people think they confuse normality with righteousness.
Right, exactly.
Just because it's normal, that don't mean it's right.
I mean, it's
And
right.
10,000 people could do the wrong thing. That don't mean it's right because 10,000 people doing it.
Still, like, think of it like this: how it is today. You know, you can't have no sex with no girl under 18, right?
Right.
True.
But if you was living in Indiana, you would not give a fuck because it's 17 there.
Oh, well, okay. Well, see now, no, you're right. But see now we got to go into what we talking about because actually now we finna get deep with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually that's why I love the term prepubescent because the Bible even speaks to this. That's why you think with kings will have they have like have sex with a whole bunch of women to keep having sons to have their last name. So of course, but I was
before you get into that, it's not even because of that though. Not because they want to keep having kids, because they keep their bloodline strong.
Yeah.
And they don't want outside interference. They wanted to keep their
keep it in the term, keep it in the family. Right? No, that's what I'm saying. So encompassing all of that. When the that's why the what's name is so crucial. A girl's menstrual cycle, because and that this is why it's kind of weird because it ain't weird. It's actually the right way. But look at the people who's doing it. That's trying to finesse it for their benefit. Because back in the Bible times, they said if a king like with King Solomon and all them, like when they had young girls, I'm gonna use the number. Like we'll just say 13. Mm-hmm. Of course, now American law, 13 is a child. Mm-hmm. But biblically, if a girl has her period symbolizes she's ready to bear children. Right. So if you want to be technical, if a guy sleep with a 13-year-old after her period, he's not wrong. Yeah. The reason is pedophilia because they sleep with girls prepubescent. You have sex with a baby that hasn't bled yet, you a pedophile now. So, and like I said, I know that may be taboo for Facebook, and of course, and it goes back to the brainwashing. Since we live in America, oh well, if you look at a 15-year-old, you're evil. No, because and when people going on like why do guys? That's why they always say why are men attracted to younger girls? We're attracted to youth, but she has to be a woman, meaning even if she's 15. If she, because we just say the girl's menstrual period, some girls have it at 12 or 13 or whatever. But of course, when you say 15, 16, you're like, all right, she didn't have a period already. So, but now you have fornication, which is premarital sex. Right. So back in those days, when those older guys that was 40 was sleeping with 13-year-olds, it was okay because she had her period. And then, like they married them one day. But see, these pedophiles want to have sex with girls that hasn't bled and they don't want to marry them. They just want to sleep with them because they're, they're freaks. Right. So if you want to be technical, everybody like that says, if she's 17 or 16, you're statutory rape. No. Because by her already getting on her menstrual, she's actually old enough to bear children. Right. So 16-year, like if a guy, like I said, and of course in America's law, if a 40-year-old slept with a 16-year-old, he would be locked up. But biblically, he's not wrong. Now he's supposed to marry her because by him being 40 years old with status, he can take care of her. I mean, I'm just saying, y'all can say what y'all want.
I'm not saying he would be wrong if back in the biblical time, and he would be wrong if it didn't benefit the name in no type of way.
Oh no, right? That's what I'm saying. So they did it for a reason. That's what I'm saying. They're doing it. They did it for a reason.
The reason why it became norm, or why it's like still today or whatever, because back then kings only did it because, like I said, to keep their name strong or keep their kingdom strong. So of course they'll get the first daughter, and if she so happen to be 12,
that's why I say
I still got to marry her and then wait until she's a woman, and then I have kids with her no matter how old she is.
That's why I said in that vein, it's actually not bad, but America would say that's bad. No, it's not. If you do it the way it's supposed to be, that's not bad. But the reason it's bad because pedophiles literally want to mess and have sex with 4-year-olds and be like, that's because that's why it's prepubescent. Because after they bleed, that symbolizes adult. But before they bleed, that symbolizes that they're still children.
Now, because do we believe things change within time, right? Mm-hmm. So do you think there's a big conflict between what's written in the Bible and then what we make as what's modernized right now? Mm-hmm. Like with the example you used, right? Like if you mess with somebody that's not, a child basically. That has blood. Let's just say that. Let's just say she's 14. She's already having a menstrual cycle, right? Okay. In law and in modern day society, that will be considered wrong.
Taboo.
Taboo. Okay. But in the Bible, it doesn't really consider it that way because of what the Bible
bleeding symbolizes adult. She's a woman.
So do you think there's a big conflict? Because we notice that in modern society, we only take certain things out of the Bible and don't apply it to all things. So
No,
exactly.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So
it's like,
if anything,
right.
that what you're saying is actually proving my point even more, because if they was real, they would follow it to the T.
Right.
They want to pick the stuff that sounds pretty and be like, okay, we'll do that one, but not that one. Even though that thing that they don't want to look at is the harsh truth, but since it hurts their feelings, we'll just scratch that out. But we'll take this though. So that's actually proving my point, because if they was righteous, they'd be like, we got to take the good with the, and I can't say that's ugly because that's the right way, and that's the way God did it, but men changed it over time. So that don't mean it was wrong. They just didn't like how it sounded. They were like, okay, well, since it made me feel bad, we're going to say the number has got to be 19 and up. Like, but and that's why I love what they say. You can't fight biology. Biology is a beast. When God made the DNA and our double helix, and when He made us with the DNA, we have to react. Our bodies, since it's biology, you can't fight biology. So that's why, and it's funny. That's why I think we was going back to the whole like when girls be choosing like bad gas and stuff like that, kind of pouring into that. Because remember, even though it takes more to be masculine, but usually like the short term alpha male, the aggression and the and I remember Dude brought up a good point. He was like the Game of Thrones days. Remember, if you want to be technical, that was the definition of an alpha. Remember we talked about that? The definition of an alpha male would literally kick ass and take names because they had the physical strength to do it, and nobody could really challenge them. But you have alpha male and then you have masculine. That's why I said in the modern times, we'll just say, I'm not an alpha male because I don't go around killing people and be like, this is my turf now. That's what real alphas did. Like on survival stuff, they did that back in the days. We're not that. But you could be masculine, meaning you could have you could be a man that stand on your morals and principles and you make conscious decisions, and you know, so you could be a masculine and be assertive and affirm what you're talking about and don't go for no BS. But you have masculinity and you have alpha male that's like, I don't give a
But I think that's the same
kill him,
thing.
take that kingdom, take his land, take this, and ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. I'm the new king now.
It sounds like the same thing. It's just with the times. Like you can still be that alpha male just with the time.
Okay, but no, technically you can't because, like I said, like, well, if you want to be technical outside of the white man, because they literally, they